Hello subscribers, myself is Kalal. We are at the scanning phase of penetration testing and ethical hacking. Particularly in this video, we are going to cover some tools used for vulnerability scanning. So let's start. What do you mean by term vulnerability scanning? Vulnerability actually is some misconfiguration or weaknesses, flaws in information system, asset, or an infrastructure, which could be used by an threat actor to gain unauthorized access or to disrupt the system. So, in scanning vulnerability, we usually use some tools or processes to scan the vulnerability so we can stop such threat actors by gaining access. This practice is performed by organizations to secure their assets. For this purpose, various tools are available. So we are going to cover them one by one. First of them is Nikto. Nikto is very simple command line based tool which can be used with some options to scan vulnerability of a target. Nikto can be used with IP address or domain name as well. The next tool is OwaspZAP. These tools provide a functionality of spiders which crawl through a web application in their automated scan. The spider functionality is depreciated from the latest version of Burp Suite, but OwaspZAP has still the function of spiders. The next tool is OpenVAS, which is developed by Gamebone. This tool provides an web GUI so we can scan vulnerability using different scan configuration. This is very useful and used tool, and result gained by this tool is very much genuine. These all tools are open source. So while using them on any particular target, it is recommended to use more than two tools so you can cross check the result and start with your next procedure in penetration testing. The last tool is Nessus. Nessus is paid software, but its community edition known as Nessus Essentials is available. Nessus Essentials provide us a functionality to scan 16 IP addresses for demonstration or trial purpose. So in this video, we are going to cover Nessus Essentials only. Some other tools such as Metasploit, HostedScan are also available. So we are going to discuss them directly in our demonstration session. So let's head towards our demonstration session. First, we are going to look at Nikto. Nikto is simple command line tool. We can use tags as option to specify our target IP address. It will take some time to load the result. For that, we have to wait. So the scan is complete. We got some information. Here you can see Nikto found credentials file, phpMyAdmin directory, some vulnerabilities which are listed in OSVTB, which is open source vulnerability database. So we can learn about these vulnerabilities in there, that database. Something about Apache and all other details. You can learn other options available with Nikto by entering simple -h option. -h in this case will act as help. Here are the various options available with the tool. Now we are going to some other add-on tools which are or which can be used as vulnerability scanning. The first tool is Nmap. The scripting engine of Nmap also acts as vulnerability scanner. For that purpose, we will run a default script of Nmap. We'll wait for it. file until the results are loaded. So the results are loaded. This script loaded the results of some safe scripts available in Nmap. So here you can see the finding that anonymous FTP login is allowed. This is an this is particularly an vulnerability with FTP port. You can run other scripts. Nmap scripting engine have specialized scripts for vulnerability scanning as well. So we let's have that how many scripts do we have actually? Here you can see scripts are designed for particular CVE. Some scripts are designed according to port and service running as well. So you can try these scripts at your own. So next tool which can be work as vulnerability scanner is Metasploit. Metasploit have various modules, exploits, auxiliaries, and all other stuff. So auxiliaries can be worked as vulnerability scanner. So in detail, we are going to study Metasploit in our next phase. But for now, just understand that Metasploit perform various functions. One of them is vulnerability scanning. To load Metasploit, we will enter command msf console. Tool is loaded. Here you can see Metasploit have 2,376 exploit and 1,232 auxiliaries. We are going to use one of these auxiliary. So as we have seen in our default scan in Nmap, the FTP anonymous login is available or allowed in our target. We can check for same vulnerability using Metasploit. For that purpose, let's search do we have any auxiliary available for scanning that vulnerability. Nmap loaded number of exploits and auxiliary in which anonymous name is present. We are going to use this first auxiliary module. To use this auxiliary, we will enter command use and then the name of the module. As you can see, the auxiliary module is loaded. Now we have to specify the target. For that purpose, we have to see what are the options by default set in this module. So the target is not specified yet. So we are going to specify that target. For that, we'll enter command set our host, then the IP address of our target. As you can see, we have set target. So we are using auxiliary, not any exploit. So we don't need to mention any payload. Simply we will hit run to know whether the vulnerability is present in our target or not. So anonymous read is predicted or pop up here, so we can conclude that the vulnerability is present in our target. Similarly, you can search for any other known vulnerability and verify using Metasploit. After Metasploit, I want to demonstrate you a site which has functionality of vulnerability scanning. we have to search for HostedScan.com. This is the site. Here we have to enter our target domain. For this purpose, I'm going to use gig for gig as our target domain. This site will ask you for an email address on which they will share you the link of the dashboard of our scan. So I would recommend you to use a temporary mail instead of your permanent personal mail. So we are going to use this temporary mail and then we'll hit submit button. They had sent us a mail with the link to our scanning dashboard. Let's check our inbox. We got the link. Dashboard will take some time to load, so we will wait for a while. Here our dashboard is loaded. You can see here the over limit is popping up. The reason behind this is that I have scanned same domain with this hosted scan multiple times. The reason why I do that is to save our time. I already succeeded the entire process because it will take a much of time of us. So I have already scanned the domain with this tool. In your case, here will be some processing icons. So after waiting a while, you will get a report option. We can see the report generated by this tool here. So these are the reports by various vulnerability scanners. Let's see the report of OpenVAS. You can save this report to your desktop as well. So the OpenVAS found 25% high level vulnerabilities and other as well. Let's check for OwaspZAP. By OwaspZAP, they didn't find any high level vulnerability. Let's check for Nmap. Nmap also didn't find any high level vulnerability. Here you can see the site used three tools and the report generated by three tools are different. That's why I have suggested you prior that while using an open source vulnerability scanner, we should check for more than two tools to cross check our results. You can Say all these result or report to your desktop for your future reference. That was it about this tool or this site. Next tool which we have discussed in our slide was OwaspZAP. Let's open that tool. So our tool is open. Here you can see the various options available with ZAP. We are going for automated scan to scan vulnerabilities of our target. In this case, we will be using Metasploitable 2 as our target. Now we are going to enter IP address of that target. Usually, this tool will spider or crawl throughout the web application running on that target. Here you can see we have ticked a check mark that use traditional spider. We are not going to use exact spider now and hit attack button. Here you can see the scanning process. The spiders are crawling throughout the subdirectories of the web application running on the target. As the spiral crawls, here the directories are being made. In alert section, you can see the vulnerability, absence of anti-CSRF token, hash disclosure. All these are the vulnerabilities found on the web application of the target. So this was all about the tool. You have to wait for a much longer time to grab all the details. So we have demonstrated the basic use of tool. Now we are going to demonstrate some other tools. So let's start. The first tool which we are going to look at is OpenVAS. OpenVAS is an open source tool. Although the tool is open source, but the features provided by tool are available in most of paid tools. So the OpenVAS tool provides us a web GUI. To start the service of OpenVAS, we have to enter a command. Firstly, we have to be a root user. Now, we have to enter a command to start the service. It will take a while. The web GUI is served by OpenVAS on our local address and a 39392 port. We have to click Advanced and accept the risk. My login credentials are already saved, so I have to simply hit sign in button. So this is the dashboard of OpenVAS tool. We are going to consider or learn these two tabs, Scan tab and the Configuration tab in our demonstration. Configuration tab contains two main things for us, which is targets and scan configuration. In target option, we can add a target. To do that, we have to click here to register a new target. Firstly, we have to donate a name, denote a name to the target. Then you can comment some description about the target. Then either you can enter manually the IP address of a target, or you can import a file in which the IP addresses are mentioned. For this video, I will enter manual. This is the IP address of my Metasploitable 2 machine. I'm not going to change any other settings. You can learn about these settings and change accordingly. Let's save our target. So this is the target that we have saved now. Next important option is scan configuration. Scan configuration generally means the mode of scan which are available. As you can say, base scan, discovery, empty, fast, and full scan. Usually, these name of the scans are self-explainable. Full and fast scan is fast. Base scan means basic scan and all that kind of stuff. The next important option is task. Task means the scans which we have performed or we are going to perform. To perform a new scan, we will hit enter new task option. We have to name our task. Then you can enter a description for that scan. Then you have to select the target. Next, there is an option to select the mode or scan configuration of the scan. I'll choose full and fast. Then let's save it. As you can see, our new scan is added here. To launch our start, we have to simply click here. This newly established task will take a lot of time. So I have already done the scan on same target, and to see the result of that scan, we have to move in result section. Here you can see the OpenVAS found 4 high-level vulnerabilities and other vulnerabilities as well. You can see the way the OpenVAS shown the vulnerabilities here. Another important aspect of this that we can export the report of this scan. To do that, we have to go towards in report section. Then you have to hit Metascan. Then here's an option to export the report. I want report in PDF form. Let's say OK. Yeah, we got our scan report. You can see the result of vulnerability scan by OpenVAS. The ports the one OpenVAS scan, the vulnerabilities, and the CVE references as well. So this was the demonstration of OpenVAS tool. Till now, we have covered a lot of stuff. The only tool left behind is Nessus. Nessus is a paid software used for vulnerability scanning. Nessus Essentials provide us a feature to scan 16 IP addresses for trial purpose. So we are going to demonstrate Nessus Essentials. To start Nessus service, we have to enter a command. First, let's switch to the root user. Then we have to enter a command. This command will start a web GUI of Nessus on port number 8834. To enable Nessus GUI, we have to start our web browser and enter this URL. My login credentials are saved, so I have to simply hit sign in button. This is the dashboard of Nessus 2. We are going to working with new scan option, but there are other options as well, particularly resources. Policies and plugins are the resources which we can import and create our own policies as well. To start a new scan, we will hit a new scan icon here. Nessus provides various options for host discovery, vulnerabilities, and some compliance part. But we will be dealing with vulnerability scanning only. To scan some basic vulnerabilities, we will do a basic network scan. Here, we have to specify some scanning configuration. Firstly, we have to denote a name to our scan. Here, you can add some description to your scan. The next term is to mention the target. We can either mention a single target or a bunch of them by typing manually or adding a file having all the IP address of our target. For this video, I'll mention my IP address of the Metasploitable machine. The next configuration options are schedule. We can schedule our scan on particular day on particular time. But I'm going to run this scan now, so I will keep this option off. Next option is notification. We can get our reports or alerts regarding to our scan on a particular email address. But to do that, we have to configure a SMTP server. So I'm not going to configure it now. Next option is discovery. Here we can specify whether we want to scan some common ports or all ports. Here is an liberty to create a customized discovery option as well. The next option is assessment. Here we can specify whether we want to scan all the vulnerabilities or some known vulnerabilities only. I'll going with all web vulnerabilities because it is a quick. Next option are report and advanced, which we are not going to consider now. The important aspect is plugin. Nessus provides various plugins according to the operating system, services, and a protocol. Just as example, here is a plugins for FTP protocol. The sub plugins are here. Here you can see the anonymous FTP in our plugin. So these are all the scanning configuration. Now we are going to save our scanning details. Here you can see our scan is saved. To launch our scan, we have to click here. This will take a lot of time. So to save our time, I have already done the scan on same target using same configuration. Here are the results of that scan. Nessus found 4 critical vulnerabilities, 3 high vulnerabilities, and other vulnerabilities as well. Here is a list of all the vulnerabilities found by Nessus. We can look at each vulnerabilities by simply clicking on them. Here is a write-up which mentions the details about particular vulnerabilities. We can export this report using these two options. So this was a quick demonstration or tour of Nessus. So in this video, we have concluded our scanning phase. In next video, we will going to start a new phase of penetration testing and ethical hacking, which is gaining access. Till now, I am signing off. Thank you.